Hi, I'm Vibrine Semmers and welcome back to another episode of Soul Stirring Astrology, where I give you my textured take on the world of astrology. Well, tomorrow, that's October the 24th, there is a full moon in Taurus. And yeah, it's quite a concentrated, fixed full moon. And the reason being is because the moon is in Taurus and it's exalted there. It's forming a conjunction with Uranus, and it's opposing a stellium in Scorpio. And the stellium comprises of the Sun, Venus, Mercury and Jupiter, and they're all over in the 7th house. So with this full moon that is in the 1st house, and it's conjuncting Uranus, so I'm just going to concentrate on this opposition. As I said, we're dealing here with two fixed energies. We have the Taurus, which is a fixed sign. We have Scorpio, which is a fixed sign. We also have Uranus, which rules Aquarius, which brings in another one of the fixed signs. And then we have the North Node in Leo, which then also accents this full moon in Taurus. And it's a very powerful one because we're dealing with fixed energy. So the moon is in Earth. And the moon here, it's exalted, so it's very much a sense of comfort and emotional security and stability on steroids. Then it starts talking to, or Uranus imposes himself on the moon. Insofar as Uranus is the firecracker, Uranus is the planet that's going to shock and revolutionize the moon. It's calling for you to, basically it's going to be disrupting this comfort zone. Whether it's a really nice comfort zone or one that you've kind of built up over the years, even though you've been really unhappy comfort zone, Uranus is here to challenge it. It's in the 1st house, so it really is about your core emotions. And when we're dealing with the moon, we're obviously looking at the issue of nourishment, nurturing, mothering. So with this transiting moon and Uranus signature, you might be reminded of early experiences of mothering. What was your mothering experience like? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it indifferent? You can't remember. Well, actually, this Uranus coming into play here is going to shake up, disrupt your emotional habitat. And it's calling for growth in some way. Now, it's a conjunction that's being formed with the moon, so you're going to begin to feel the pressure of a change that needs to happen. It has to happen in order for you to grow, or you're going to miss this whole cycle of growth because you are remaining far too retentive. And this signature reminds me of one of my clients that I saw earlier in the year. He has the moon in Taurus and it's at 0 degrees. So actually this transit very much mirrors aspects of his chart. And I remember in the consultation, and I said to him, you know, are you divorced? Are you getting divorced? Are you thinking of getting divorced? And he was vehement, no, he's not divorced. He's not getting divorced, but he's thought about it. And all I said at the time was, interesting, and just left it like that. Because I could see from the signature, it's the type of environment that is going to disrupt an emotional habitat in a way whereby you can't really resist the change. Anyway, it transpires that he's met somebody, and this person is very different from his own cultural background. And so where you've got the moon and you've got Uranus, you may be coming into contact with somebody who's going to shake up your world. Now, if it's a man, it could be a woman that reminds him of mothering in some way, so he's seeking some type of nourishment. It could be a woman who's going to bring him a completely new experience in ways where he may go, wow, I'd never been in touch with that side of me or my emotions in a particular way. Or she could be teaching him a new point of view in terms of how he may see the world. But where you've got this signature of the moon and Uranus, it's very unlikely that the situation that you're currently in will remain the situation once this transit passes. Now with women, it could be a case that if you're an older woman, you might be going through the menopause. What does that mean for you? Well, instead of, as women, we always tend to be giving out to other people. It might be a time for you to rethink and reevaluate, how do you nurture and nourish yourself as you're dealing with these new changes in how you emote, how you really open up, how you are able to really bring some level of transformation to your life. So with Moon meeting Uranus, there is no way, I will say it again, there is no way that a situation that you have been tolerating, I always say to people, go where you are celebrated, not where you are tolerated. So if you have this configuration, we all will have it somewhere. Wherever the Moon conjunct Uranus falls in your chart, whatever house it falls in, we know it's a sign of Taurus, but whatever house it falls in, it is an area that will be disrupted, and one that you should not avoid the flow that may come from that. Now, opposing this Moon conjunct Uranus is opposing this Stellium in Scorpio, another fixed sign. So as I mentioned in my Uranus, when she speaks to Pluto and Mars, Venus is going through a retrograde period through Scorpio, and she is speaking to the co-rulers. Now, this stellium still involves Venus. So here it's the disruption again of what it is that you truly value. So anything that has been buried or swept under the carpet, where you've pretended and you shushed about and you've been fearful about rocking the boat. You have these two signatures. You've got Uranus conjuncting the Moon, and you have the stellium of the Sun, Venus, Mercury and Jupiter, all in water, all in Scorpio, that is demanding that you pay attention to what it is that you value. So either way, you cannot be escaping it, because A, you have it in the first house of you, how are you going to transform and grow? And B, the stellium's in the 7th house of Scorpio. So all those jealousies and insecurities and those passions, and where it is that you are concealing, it's basically all of your shadow. All of your shadow is contained within the scorpionic waters. And I want to kind of expand upon the mythological story of Hercules when he met the 9-headed Hydra. And I touched on it in the Venus meets, or when Venus speaks to Pluto and Mars. So Hercules was on his journey of individuation. It was time for him to become the man he is due to become. So he had 12 tasks, and on his 8th one, his mentor said to him, now you are going to come across a situation where you're going to have to slay one of your demons. And just remember this: you rise by kneeling, you conquer by surrendering, and you gain by giving up. And that's what his mentor said to him. You rise by kneeling, you conquer by surrendering, and you gain by giving up. So off Uranus went. He had his arrows in his bag, he had, matches, he could light things along the way, and off he went. And he came across the cave that contained the 9-headed Hydra. So what did he do? He, started firing his arrows into the cave, didn't do anything, the Hydra wasn't stirred. In fact, she just kind of lay there disgruntled. Then he lit the arrows and fired them into the cave. And when he fired them into the cave, this really aggravated and annoyed and angered the 9-headed Hydra. So anyway, she came out of the cave and into the swamp. So what did Hercules do? He kept firing these arrows and forgot what his mentor taught him, until he became exhausted. So he was trying to slay this 9-headed Hydra. He'd chop off the head, he'd chop one head off, 3 more would grow. He'd chop another head, 3 more would grow, until he remembered, you rise by kneeling, you conquer by surrendering, and you gain by giving up. So what he did, he got into the murky, swampy water. and started to duke it out with this 9-headed hydra. And then what he did was he lifted the hydra out of the water, and he noticed that the heads started to become limp. And it was at that stage he was able to chop off all the heads. And so when he chopped the 9th head off, a 10th one grew in the form of a jewel. And so what this full moon in Taurus, which is opposing this stellium of the Sun, Venus, Mercury and Jupiter in Scorpio, is asking you to discover, to find, uncover, unearth the precious jewel that you are. And the way that you're able to get to the jewel is that you've got to get into your swampy water to deal with your demons. So that's it in terms of this full moon. That's all I want to share with you, because Venus is still retrograding through Scorpio, and wherever Venus touches when she's retrograding, there are powerful lessons that she can teach each and every one of us. And it's about, what is it that you value? What is it that you truly, truly value? I've got, you know, a handful of values, and 2 of them for me is integrity and honor. They're really, really, really important to me. So I've got clarity over my values. I've got other values, but they're the 2 that I'm willing to share with you now. So this period of Venus retrograding, this period of this full moon is asking you to go to that point, to go through the eye of the needle, to give up that situation that is killing your spirit. You know the situation it is. You know. Nobody else needs to tell you about it. You walk it every single day. Give it up. Because if you want to have this nourishing, fulfilling experience where you're able to give yourself self-love, the reason being is because once Uranus has transformed the moon and let go of what no longer serves her, you're able to flourish in a way that's meaningful for you to set this new sort of foundation for your life. And then the Scorpio end, change comes if you pay attention to Venus and what she's trying to teach you as she's retrograding. Also, don't forget, we've got Jupiter, which is at the last degrees of Scorpio. So look out for the gift that Jupiter is trying to hand you before Jupiter moves into Sagittarius. Can't wait till it gets to Sagittarius. That's going to be a blossoming time for me and for other people as well, obviously. But Jupiter is trying to give you a gift. It's trying to shine a light on you. If we think about the North Node is coming up to, it's about 1 degree of Leo, and it's about to move into, on the 6th of November, it's going to retrograde into Cancer. So with the North Node at this final degree, where is it that you can shine in the world? In whatever way, it might be obscure, it might be really obvious. So for example, last week I had an amazing week. I was away on one of my tech conferences and then got the opportunity to, I was offered an opportunity to speak internationally, so I'm very, very excited about that. I got a mentor as well, so that's really, really good. He's going to help me on my international speaking career. And then this magical thing happened. I've got a list of 10 people, the top 10 people I'd love to meet, and they could be anywhere in the world. Anyway, I've got my list of 10. And I've now met 2 of them. So I met Gary Vaynerchuk, and that was 5 years ago in 2013. And then last week I had the opportunity to act with one of Hollywood's, she played one of Hollywood's iconic characters. I can't name her for contractual reasons, obviously, but I had a pinch myself week last week when I got to act with this actress, and this actress is on my list of the top 10 people I would most like to meet in the world. So I'm like a kid in a candy store, very, very happy, but just following my own rhythm of life and, you know, just paying attention to the narrative that these wonderful planets offer us when we understand what is our natural rhythm. So with this fixed energy, there's room for change. You know, don't lose the opportunity to change. And which brings me to the quote of the day by Shannon, Alder. And what she said is this: sometimes Your belief system is nothing more than your fear attached to rules. I'll say it again. Sometimes your belief system is nothing more than your fear attached to rules. And so with this full moon, it's calling on you to look at what it is that you really fear. Where is the place that you are fearful to tread? Where's the place that you're really afraid to go through the eye of the needle? Where is the place that you need to liberate your emotions so you can just breathe so deeply, so fully, so happily into yourself? So that's it, beautiful people. As always, put your comments in the comment box below. You know I always love, love, love talking to you. And yeah, share these episodes with people in your network who are on their healing journey, who are on the journey of life. We're all on the journey of life. And all through astrology, what I'm aiming to do is to gently guide you towards your own form of individuation and consciousness. So until then, bye-bye.